This is my industrial shop, and this is my scooter. And I'm gonna tell you why I thought all of this was impossible just a few years ago. So come with me, and I'm gonna show you exactly how we do it. You may be wondering why I'm riding a scooter. Stick around later in the video to find out. Now it all starts right here in the back by the wood. I want to start here at the back of the shop by this giant stack of walnut and red oak, because this was the first thing that I never thought was feasible or even possible, is that I'm buying this much wood. I used to go, and I remember so candidly and vividly, I used to go to the hardwood store. The first time I was ever there, I was asking the question of like, what's 4/4? What's 8/4? Why do I have to buy by the linear foot? And there were so many different questions I had that I had no idea about. And fast forward to today, I understand all of those nuances plus how to buy wood in large quantities. And I think the lesson here is that like, it did not change whenever I was that young kid going into that hardwood store and asking that guy. I was the same young, naive person that's asking all of these companies, hey, how do I buy a bundle of wood? Because I had absolutely no idea. What I did, I put my sleeves up and I got to work and I understood what it was. So if you're in this point and you're at this stage of the business and you maybe you're scared because you don't know what hardwood is, difference between hardwood and softwood, or whatever you're doing, right? Like there's some pecan right there, some Texas pecan up there, some horribly stacked wood right there. Whatever stage you're at, it's okay to be naive. You just got to keep going and keep learning. So now we're over here where we have all of this scrap, okay? Scrap or work in progress. One of the big things about this part and why I'm so proud of it, and I get just kind of taken away. I remember when I used to take this lick tub right here, something like this. It's an old lick tub for cows. And I would take this lick tub and I'd put it by my table saw in the back of my small shop, you know, with a Home Depot, you know, contractor table saw, and I was cutting on my stuff. And I would collect all my scraps in them, I'd save them, and then I'd make scrap wood projects and stuff like that. And to me, this was like a year's worth of scrap. And now, everything that's right here is 2 days worth. Now you're like, oh, Ryan, there shouldn't be that much stuff there. It's not all scrap, it's gonna get made. But that's how much stuff we processed. But it's no different than when I had that table saw and I was putting stuff in a lick tub. There is no difference. It is the exact same thing, and it's just something I never thought was possible. Like, never in a million years. So the key takeaway when you're looking at all of this and all this wood, one, it's okay to not know what you're doing. You will figure it out. Two, scrap still exists, even in a giant shop. And three, wood is still expensive. No matter if you grow or not, it's still very, very expensive. So if you're getting value from this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And another way you can support the channel is checking out our panels that we make in our shop and sell on CICWorkshop.com. These are some cherry panels, these are some maple panels, and these are some walnut panels that are already going out to customers. And so once you order, we do all the painstaking stuff for you, so you can just stick a nice finished panel on a CNC and hit go. So check out CICWorkshop.com, it'd be a huge help. Now, back to the video. Another thing that you can see right over here is our glue station. And so this is where we're gluing up a ton of panels. Literally less than 3 years ago, I was working on the ground with pipe clamps, with those red Bessie pipe clamps, just turning. Let me see, let's go grab one real quick. With these pipe clamps right here, these are some of my original ones. And that's why you see it's very well used, a little bent. This was some of the original Bessie pipe clamps that I started with gluing up stuff. And it was always my dream one day to have that. And so through just gluing up and a sheer amount of work and effort, the impossible became possible because I was able to get this massive glue clamp, processing tons and tons of wood and using lots and lots of glue. One really cool thing, this right here is 255 gallons of wood glue. Like, that is nuts. I used to buy it by the little bottle at Home Depot. And nothing, still, all of that is the same. Nothing changed. I went from buying those little bottles to now buying that. Why? Just because I needed more glue. There's nothing fancy. There's nothing like, oh my gosh, how can you get that much glue? It's the same concept. I needed more glue, so I got a really big drum of it. And that'll last about a month in the shop, something like that. But it's a ton of glue. Now, fast forward, if you come over here, this is the wood processing area. And so I started off with a Craigslist planer for 400 bucks. And now I have this giant double-sided planer. And this helps us process all the wood that I showed you. And so all of this wood that's right here, this walnut and this cherry, this is some 6/4 walnut, and this is 4/4 cherry. We're gonna be using this to make panels for CNC Woodshop, those hardwood panels that you can get on there. So you don't have to have all this equipment. That's what this is about to get used for. So 4/4 cherry, 6/4 walnut, and what it does is it goes through this saw first right here. And this is an upcut saw. And so what this upcut saw does, it's just like your miter saw that you get from Home Depot or whatever, except the blade comes from the bottom and processes all of this wood right here. And so whenever I had that miter saw and that simple planer, and I thought to myself, when I get busy, how am I gonna be able to handle all these orders? You know, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna learn this? Who's gonna teach me? You just figure it out. Like, you just figure it out and you just keep doing it and keep going and put your head down and work your tail off. And it's exciting because you love the woodworking, you love the CNC, you love like the smell, right? You don't love sawdust boogers, but you get them, right? You get them every once in a while. Like, that is the exciting part. Like, I love this. I freaking love it. So once we're processing the wood, we cut it up, we plane it down. Now we got to slice it up. And so over here is where we slice up the wood. Now this is a rip saw, which is a version of like an industrial table saw. But before I got this, I went through 5 Home Depot contractor saws, the one that you fold out. I went through 5 motors of those, eventually got a saw stop, and then that was my very next upgrade. And once again, it was just figuring out how to process more and more, quantities. Everything was just an upgrade because I was already busy. I didn't just go out and get that because I wanted to start cutting a whole bunch of wood, right? I went out and got it because I had a whole bunch of wood to cut. There's a slight difference there. Now over here, this is our 3-head wide belt sander. And what this is 3 different heads, 43 inches wide, that have different grits on them. Now I started with a Jet 16 to 32 inch open-ended drum sander, and now I have this thing right here. And so that same one I started with, once again, clamping up the stuff on the pipe clamp, scraping the glue off, sending it through the planer, sending it through the Jet 16 to 32 open-ended drum sander. Then you go to this. Like, it's incredible. This is the dream. So we have that to help sand down a lot of our boards so we have a really good glue up. And so how all this works, once again, I go over there, I cut it up, I plane it down, I slice it up, rip it up, and then you have all these boards here, and then it goes back to the glue up area. Once it's done with that, we then plane down those panels, and then we have CNCs. And right now this one's not running. It will soon, but we cut out our product right here with our CNCs. Now the CNC I started with was that Laguna IQ 2 foot by 3 foot, cutting out less than 6 products an hour. And then I got a little bit bigger one, a 4x8 Laguna Swift. Then I got another IQ because we had so many orders. And then I ended up getting a Shop Saber that's back over here, which I absolutely love. Then I got a second Shop Saber because, why? I had so many orders coming in that I needed another one. It wasn't because I just jumped up on a ledge and just decided to buy it. So then I got a second one. Then I had so many orders, I ended up having to get rid of it and put something with 2 heads in. Ugh. So now you can stick this on this CNC right here, suck it down, and everything is held together. I like to tape the edges. This. And now it's ready to go. Right when this thing starts running, just understand, I had dreams and visions about this for years before I got it. I didn't even know this thing existed for the longest time because I never knew anything about CNCs. But then when I got the 2 foot by 3 foot one, started working with it, I understood like, oh my gosh, they make them bigger. And so then I got the 4x8. And then through just learning and repetition and grinding and hard work, you're good. I now know that like, these things exist, and I just learned. I watched lots of YouTube. I talked to mentors. I did all of the things that I could to try to grow my ability. And so now we have this dual head tool changing CNC, which is incredible. And what? It's gonna be, shoot. And now it's milling. And so we're gonna shoot this video continuously, and you're gonna get to see that kind of as it's going. So once everything cut out, I come over here to the sanding area. And the sanding area looks wild because it is. It's a sanding area. And we have different things that we make and sell with the CNC. A lot of these I have showed y'all before, so if you watch the channel, you're a viewer of it. These are all kind of different things. They come over here, they get routed, they get branded, they get sanded with one of my favorite things in the world, this flap sander right here, which is indeed my favorite machine. And so we flap sand stuff. Now obviously I'm not doing the most perfect job, but now we get it super smooth. And then we just hand sand it. We use sanders. Nothing crazy. Key lesson, I have not found a fast way to sand. Sanding is sanding. Sanding is sanding. Some of y'all may come from big production shops and know of different ways, like I would put in this cool big machine. We have too many different products. We have to sand the old-fashioned way. But yeah, and so as this thing is cutting out, it's gonna do another tool change. So what it's grabbing now is a 3-flute rougher, and it's about to cut out a lot of material. And so a lot of y'all ask, how do I learn CNC? How did I learn it? How do I know it so well? I've been doing this for years and just testing and learning from that Laguna IQ all the way to this machine. That's how I know all the stuff that I know. It's just messing up and trying and asking and trying and messing up. So now after everything is sanded, we come over here and we have, this room's a little weird right now, but this is our dip room where we dip and oil stuff, dehumidify it, control it, and all of that good stuff. The reason I'm giving you this tour is not to like show off the shop. It's for the one documenting this, so one day in the future I can look back and see where I was at in chronological order, right? And so a lot of this is for me selfishly, but I hope to get you to understand like this, all of this so far, is this something I just figured out along the way? Like I just kept hustling and kept grinding and kept asking questions and kept getting mentors and kept asking other people. And I just eventually learned it. I wish there was a lot more of a secret sauce. Now over here, as you can see, these are some of the orders we have going out today. This is just today's orders. Now it is during our peak season, so we won't do this much, on a year-round basis. But this is like, I don't know, 200 orders, something like that, going out right here. And we already took another run, another truckload somewhere else. And so I say all of that to show you the shipping room. So inside the shipping room right here, we have cutting boards that we sell. So for all the people that think cutting boards still don't sell, they do. And so we're shipping out, ooh, my gosh, that is a lucky customer. Ooh, oh my, we're gonna sell this one? Dude, can we get another one? This one's amazing, look at that. That's really pretty. But this is how the shipping room operates. So we come in here, we got the shrink wrap machine going through the heat tunnel, comes out the heat tunnel right here, and goes and gets packaged up, got paper, and all of this, once again, we used to do in a horse stall. Did all this in a horse stall. And now we have, this really cool who pushes the e-stop? So now we have this really cool paper dispenser that shoots out paper. Super cool. But all of this stuff goes through here and gets shipped out. Now for those of you who are still watching and wondering, Ryan, why the heck were you on a scooter? It's not to be transported around the shop. One, it's not very efficient, and two, it is very unsafe, so it does not get ridden for that reason. But whenever I was 18 years old, I told myself one day I was gonna build a shop big enough to ride a scooter in. And so as soon as I built this shop, which we built with our hands by ourselves, I bought a freaking scooter and I rode it up and down the shop. And that's why I have a scooter. It's more of a memento, a keepsake, that I finally achieved a goal and ambition to ride a scooter in a shop large enough that I built. Now, with that being said, if you're selling one product a day, a week, a month, or 2 products or 10 products, it does not matter. I was there not that long ago. My very first year in business, I only did 100 orders total for the year. And so my advice to you is just keep grinding, keep going. You're going to figure it out if you do get orders. You just have to focus on sales and keep focusing on sales and try to grow that aspect, because everything else comes with it. I could not have bought this whole entire shop without sales coming in. So guys, I hope this video helps, and remember, if you ain't cutting it close, you ain't cutting it right.